She suffers with an allergy to soya as well, which was found out slightly after the milk allergy was diagnosed. And we've also found out that she has reactions to honey, and that was from trying to sweeten up her milk with honey, and she had a pretty much instant vomiting reaction to that. The dietitian since told us to try reintroducing it, but I've not been brave enough to yet, so I don't know whether she's outgrowing that one, but fingers crossed it will be in the things that she will outgrow eventually. Dietitian again gave us a leaflet with the commonly used words for dairy products and the uncommon words, so things like ghee and casein, whey, things that you don't always instantly think is a milk product. And also advice from the dietitian was not to always take the allergy information that manufacturers put on the packaging as read, because a few of them are putting may contain traces of, and actually all they're doing is putting that to cover their own backs when actually there is no chance that it's in there. So it's a case of using your own initiative and trial and error, and learning which foods suit your child and which foods don't. But reading the labels, it's not just the allergy advice, it's literally you have to read every single ingredient that goes into that product to be sure that you're not going to give them something that's got milk in. A good tip that I can give to parents is, no matter how young your child is, explain to them from day one about the problems that they have with food, so that they become aware as they grow up why they can't have things, so that they know that you're not just saying they can't have things to be mean. Eventually, over time, your child themselves will start realising that there's certain things they can't have, and they'll connect the things they can't have with poorly tummy symptoms, or whatever symptoms your child has. For Neve, a couple of months ago when she was 2, she was offered a chocolate in a park by another little girl, and I was just about to run and step in like I normally have to, but Neve actually turned around to the little girl and said, "I can't have those because they've got milk in," which I thought was really, really good of her at 2 years old, to understand that she can't have certain foods because they'll make her tummy poorly. It just shows that if you talk to your child about their allergy, they will eventually learn to manage it themselves, which is what we all want as parents for when they go to preschool and school, because that's a very scary point if your child hasn't outgrown the allergy. Sometimes, if it's a close friend, they're generally pretty understanding. They'll phone you up and ask you what your child can eat, and if they don't, give them a ring, explain to them about the allergy, and ask them if they can have a little plate of food that you know that your child can eat, so they don't feel left out. If in a nursery situation or a childcare situation where you're not going to be there, making sure that that childcare provider has as much information about your child's allergy as possible. But generally, I've found that other people are quite willing to help and aren't probably as scared as you are yourself when you first find out. If she has milk by accident, there's unfortunately nothing you can do apart from wait for the symptoms to pass and give her cuddles. And, sometimes giving her a warm towel to put on her tummy if she's got tummy ache, or rub her tummy if she's got wind. But apart from that, and putting cream if she's got eczema, there isn't much else you can do, unfortunately.
I'm pretty strict with Neve over her drinking her special formula milk. We have to sweeten it up. We use milkshake powder to sweeten up her milk to get her to drink it. And we give it her at bedtime in a bottle. Even though she's 2, she still has a bottle. But it's the only way that we can actually get her to drink that. And I'm pretty strict about that because I know that that special formula's got everything she needs in it, vitamins-wise, calcium-wise. But as well as that, if they're not drinking it, because Neve had issues in the beginning, if they're not drinking it, the dietitians can give you some really good information on foods that contain calcium, such as things I didn't know, like spinach has a lot of calcium in it, and baked beans have a lot of calcium in it. So there's lots of foods that you can give to your child that contain calcium, and the dietitian's always the best place to go to find out which foods are full of calcium and your other vitamins. For me, it's more, you try and relax as much as you possibly can, but you kind of feel you have to be a bit neurotic in chasing around after your child. If somebody else's child is eating something you know your child can't eat, and you do feel a bit like other parents are looking at you and thinking that you're a bit crazy because you're chasing around after your child because it's picked a crisp up off the floor, or they've picked a cheese cracker up, or just literally having to follow your children around. It's very difficult, and you find that other parents whose children don't have allergies are very, very reluctant to have your child around for lunch or for dinner because they're worried about what they can feed them. Even family, for example, going to see my parents abroad, my mum and dad were panicking over what we were going to feed Neve while we were there, and the same with my partner's family when we went to visit them. It was the same questions. It was sort of a 2-3 week job of advising them what to buy, what to have in the pantry, what food she can and can't eat. It's a very challenging thing, but something that you do get used to.